I think a couple of things. One is to work across silos, which I think this state is still working towards, but has done and continues to grapple with. It's not always easy to work across silos. Another thing would be to sit down with people in the community and have a cup of coffee with them and really get to know them and talk to them. And I think a third thing would be to recognize that everybody has something to bring to the table. And I'd like to tell you a story. One of the things, and this goes to my cultural anthropologist, and the next question. I remember being at the very first McPhip CMF conference where young people were invited to come to the conference. And I remember being in a room with a circle of people. Jim McHale was leading the session. And most of the people at the conference, except for the young people, were older white men, very well dressed, very distinguished, all in suits. And Jim asked people to stand in a circle, and he started one of his, youth dancing icebreakers. And I remember the look on those men's faces. And there was this moment of hesitation and silence because it was definitely not the culture that they were accustomed to at a CMF conference. And then I remember somebody kicking their foot forward and smiles spreading across faces and people starting to dance and enjoy themselves. And that, I think, was a turning point for this state in terms of the culture of philanthropy. And I look now, I think about philanthropy, I think about the Center for Arab American Philanthropy that did not exist back then. I think of CMF conferences. This is a good example where you have MNA and CMF combining their conferences, grant makers, grant seekers. So a bringing together of groups across different silos. And you see at the conferences, you see men, you see women, you see people of different colors, racial and ethnic backgrounds, you see young people and old people. So I think there's been a real shift. And I think to the extent that people can invite people who are not usually in at the table, that would be a piece of advice I would give.